Hello and welcome back to another international lapdown podcast. We've got me in the UK, but I'm not British and I do not have British bias. We've got Dan, who is currently somewhere in the many Emirates, and we're here to talk about Formula One and specifically the Brazilian Grand Prix, which is this weekend, and it feels like a big weekend to me. Dan, how are you, my friend?
I'm very well. Well, I'm quite tired actually, AB.
Yeah.
It's a funny flight last night. I left Gatwick at what time did I fly? Maybe 8 p.m., 8:30, 9 o'clock, something like that, UK time, which was then a 7-hour flight to Dubai, which was then 3:30 in the morning UK time, and it's not really long enough to sleep, and it's just a bit of a weird kind of time, and you land and you think, I've got to get going now. You don't, because it's 4 o'clock in the morning back home. So it's funny. What I will say, on multiple pieces of research, I extensively researched the Caribbean for a Caribbean Grand Prix. And having been in the Emirates for about 6 hours, I can confirm that I don't believe Sharjah would be the place in order to host another Grand Prix. One thing I did notice, though, and because obviously when there's no films to watch and when you're a bit kind of in and out of comatose, sleep deprived state, you're kind of glued to the map, aren't you? Because that's kind of fun to watch on an aeroplane. And I didn't realize kind of how close, like Bahrain, Qatar, the Saudi Grand Prix and Abu Dhabi actually are. You can almost like throw a bed sheet or like a tea towel or something and just go, well, I've got 4 Grand Prix there. And I think Dubai's got a pretty decent race circuit, which wouldn't surprise me if there was one there in the not too distant future.
No, it very much feels like we're heading towards either having a European, 3 distinct stages: the Emirates leg, the European leg, and the American leg of the year. I think people do forget how small. I mean, there's obviously some vastness, and there is some desert and all the rest of it, but not huge heavyweights, but not huge distances.
Absolutely not. But I saw that at 2 o'clock this morning, UK time, and I went, Formula One.
Geography with Dan. And now because you're running on minimal sleep and you change time zones and the rest, if you come out with some rogue opinions in this podcast, we know why.
Yeah, well, I mean, better for the podcast. Better for the podcast, better for people viewing it. But I'll get the housekeeping out of the way first. And I mean, if you're enjoying this series of podcasts that we've made through the course of the 2025 season, whatever you're listening to it on or absorbing this information, make sure you're following or subscribing or liking or reviewing or whichever that might be, whether it's audio, visual, and all that other great stuff, and share it with people, because our little community's building nicely here, AB, and it's nice to have people a part of it. It's nice to hear comments in about different things, about why you're wrong about the fact that you're not British or you are British, and the fact that you hate Oscar Piastri and all that other great stuff. And it's been a good season so far, and I feel like we're getting towards the peak of our big banger episodes, because sooner or later, shit is hitting the fan, and we are going to have to pull the sweet corn kernels out of this and then figure it all out.
Yeah, I said before, this weekend feels big. I think we're sprunting, we're doing unssprunt in Brazil. Brazil, good track for racing. There is some overtaking to be done there. We've got some weather all over the shop. It just feels like, for a championship that is very much on a knife edge it's on a few knife edges, really. It's on multiple edges. It just feels like this weekend could be quite telling, I think, when we come to, the fireworks going off at Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's a big moving weekend, isn't it? For multiple reasons. One, because there's 8 extra points on the table, and 2, because we're running out of those points then to go and get. I know we've got 3 rounds after this one. We've got Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, with another Sprinty McSprint face in Qatar.
Yeah,
I believe. So we're running out of time. So things are going to have to move, and these moves are going to be big.
Yeah,
and I think it's going to be a bit soggy this weekend.
Yeah. Particularly for Friday and Saturday. Yeah, I think race day we might be reasonably dry, but there is certainly some weather around through the sprunty bits and the qualifying bits. It does feel a little bit, you used moving as a term. It's a little bit day 3 of the test, isn't it? It feels like if you get bowled out cheaply in the afternoon session here, all of a sudden you are behind the game, and there is a decent chance of that one way or another. I'll ask this question. We know it's going to be damp. If it's going to be wet at the Brazilian Grand Prix, which of our title contenders does that favour?
I believe it's the certain young Dutchman.
It
that
feels
has
very much like the Young Dutchman, doesn't it?
dominated in those conditions in this kind of final third of the championship. So if that is the case, then it's kind of pointing his way. Do you know, like, the thing I love about Brazil with all of it, it's such a cinematic track to broadcast as well. And when you see those kind of storm clouds come up, and all of a sudden you think you're going to start to see 11 from Stranger Things pop up from behind the grandstands because Vecna's about to pop out of the crowd and just kind of start destroying things. You look at it just looks incredible, doesn't it? Like these huge, massive, kind of darker than night clouds just appear behind the hill, and you go, "We're in trouble."
Yeah,
so good.
One area that it could be really interesting with this weekend, I think, if we've got a really wet Saturday, and by the forecast, and I know Brazil is a little bit sort of, it's either end of the world or dry type thing. You don't really tend to get much drizzle, I don't think, in Brazil.
Yeah.
Brazil.
I think it's Sao Paulo.
Is it going to be interesting to see? I think there are going to be teams that have to prioritize quali or race, and there's a risk of needing to sacrifice a little bit of quali position to go with the race setup, because if we are going to be, based on that forecast, dry on a Sunday and wet on a Saturday, I don't think those two setups go particularly well side by side. There's a lot of curly bits in Brazil, but then there's that long old run out of that final corner all the way up the hill that, you know, it could be an opportunity for someone, I think, to fuck it up more so than get it right. I think realistically, it probably would have to be Red Bull. I think would have to maybe break cover on that a little bit more. I think McLaren are more likely to favour their race pace, and sod it. If we qualify 5th and 6th, that's fine. We'll be up in the podium spots by early couple of laps. But do you think there is some jeopardy there, and do you think Red Bull will have to flick in that direction if that happens?
They're the ones that have got to try something, haven't they?
Yeah,
they're the ones that have got. Max is the guy that's got ground to make up, and as we said, and as we opened this podcast up with, he's running out of time to do it, and he's got an opportunity this weekend to take big chunks with that extra 8 points available in that sprint weekend. Which, of course, if the weather forecast is to kind of look like it's going to be true, it is going to be a wet sprint race, which then you'd think kind of leads him towards that. And then if McLaren favour dry setups, how quickly can they kind of switch between a wet sprint and a dry quali setup in order to get the things down? As you say, I think with regards to the title contenders, I think the cock-up mentality is certainly possible. But what we have had with Brazil, with these kind of changeable conditions over the last probably 3 or 4 years that we've been there, is people have got it right. Because out of absolutely nowhere, you've all of a sudden, like last year, you had Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon dominating in the Haas, in the Alpines, and you think, where did that come on? Albon has had some incredible qualifying and races at Sao Paulo in the last couple of years. So, yes, Oscar, Lando, Max, there is he's bollocks it, isn't he? But all of a sudden, out of nowhere, you go, Kimi Antonelli's on pole, and Esteban Ocon's third, and I don't know how that's happened. So it's like, in terms of a mixing bowl for Formula One Grand Prix, like everything goes towards it, and it can be, and it has been over the last few years, such an overstimulating weekend, which is genuinely quite brilliant from a fan's perspective, and then even better for two morons with like webcams and microphones that like talking about it. So
yeah, it's an interesting point actually that I possibly hadn't considered, because Max needs to win pretty much everything, right? It's not about good weekends for Max. It's about you know, perfect weekends if he's going to reel it in. And the risk of a rogue Haas or a rogue Williams, I'm going to throw like a rogue Isaac Hadjar into the mix as well. Like he feels like the kind of boy that could just go and stick it up there on the podium for absolutely no reason. If someone else is in that mix and takes away that top spot through whatever happens, a perfectly timed pit stop or just a great day or whatever, none of us are sitting here thinking the deciding factor in this championship battle is going to be Esteban fucking Ocon. Like, all the chat we've had, multiple episodes, all the abusive comments we've had, largely coming out of one small country in the world, of all the different permutations that might happen, points needed, maths, and all the rest of this. And it's just fucking Ollie Behrman in the house that just ruins it for everyone.
Yeah, yeah. You get to the end of it and you go, well, I didn't think Lance Stroll was going to take 3 points off Max Verstappen, which is why he finished 2 points off the off championship at the end of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. But hey, you never know. You never know. And this does feel like the final opportunity for something weird, doesn't it? Because Vegas is normal. I think Ferrari and Mercedes were quite good in Vegas last year because it was cold. But I believe, if I remember rightly, they've moved the timings of it to make sure that
slightly earlier, but we're still night.
Everything's a little bit warmer, if possible. Qatar is pretty much follow the leader Grand Prix racing, isn't it? From what we have in the last couple of years.
Has been very McLaren coded for the last couple of years as well. If we're going to put teams on circuits, McLaren not in good places for Vegas historically, as you say. Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull have gone quite well around there.
Yeah.
Qatar is papaya, and that's been dominated previously. And then Abu Dhabi's not particularly orange, I don't think. I think it doesn't necessarily favour one team or another. I don't think there's a huge advantage there. But yeah, there's not a runaway there, I don't think.
I don't think so. But yeah, this weekend. This is the weekend, isn't it? This feels this is hey, bookmark it. Yeah. Coin the phrase, put it on a t-shirt. It's moving weekend.
It's moving week. It's a day 3 Grand Prix.
It just is.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Just is.
Should we talk about paint? We love paint chat. We love a golf livery. We love Williams. We've got all 3 of them together. It's the best livery I've ever seen in the last 12 months.
It's so good. It's so good. There was the teaser, wasn't there? 48 hours ago?
Yeah.
And you dropped me a little message, and you kind of went along the lines of, Williams are teasing me with this, and if it's not amazing, I'm going to riot.
Yeah.
And you just knew it was going to be incredible. It would take one of the worst graphic designers of all time to take that car, that logo, and those colors to come away with going, nah, you got that wrong, actually. Yeah. Nah, I don't know what you've done, but you haven't done it right. It's not possible to get it wrong, I don't think. I genuinely think you could give... We were talking, weren't we, about one of the F1 designers' childs going in there and designing the Aston Martin equations on the wings, wasn't it, the other week? We were saying it was Adrian Newey's grandchild that's gone in there and just squiggled around and stuff. I genuinely think with this one that you could put a silhouette of a Formula One car in front of the grandchild of a Formula One technical director with a light blue crown and an orange crayon, and it would still look cool.
Yeah. And what they've done really well, I think, or not what they've done well, it was always going to happen, but the Komatsu sponsorship on the side, I actually don't even think is a detractor. Would I? No. I would say, would I prefer it to be all light blue? It's actually possible that having the dark blue on the bottom there adds a little bit of, shape to it, that actually it might even be adding to it slightly. I don't think the words are doing a huge amount for me. I don't think I give a shit about them. I don't think I'll see them on the telly. I feel a little bit as though they maybe thought we have to do something slightly different so that it's not just the McLaren Golf livery copied and pasted onto our car. So what should we do? Let's put some random words on it.
Yeah.
But hey, I'm fine with it because it looks fucking sexy.
Yeah, it does. It does. The as you said, the messaging behind it is nice. It's all right.
Do you want to hear some of the words that are on the Williams this weekend?
Passion.
I can only tell you based on what's in like the reveal graphic, but I can see next level. I can see bravery, spectacular, fun, friendship, humildade, intrepido, love, hermanda, legardo, gorgeous, empatia.
I do like the fact that you opened with the first one, and it's somebody you've gone, describe Williams' Formula One team in one word, and they've gone, next level.
Not hyphenated either.
That's 2. It's 2. It's just 2 words. 2 words. Yeah. Like, stop being greedy. 1 word.
1 word each. We said 1 word each. The word is sexy, though. The 1 word each is sexy.
Imagine that. Imagine just on the engine cover, next to all of these other things, you've just got your contribution of it, and it just says sexy across.
Yeah. I'm on board with it. Let's do it.
That's so good. That's what they should have done.
Esteban Ocon's got a helmet as well. It's also quite sexy. It's a nice helmet.
Flip that out.
Yeah.
Esteban Ocon's sexy helmet.
Yeah. But it is good, isn't it?
It looks good, yeah. Look, he's given his fans the crayons. He's gone, it's for the Brazilian Grand Prix. The fans have gone, blue,
Parrots.
yellow, green, fun. And it does look cool.
Yeah.
Does look cool. Yeah, good for him. Well done.
I'd be amazed if we don't get a Lewis Hamilton helmet. Him and Brazil are very hand in hand. We should say we record this on the Thursday. So we had when we talked about all the liveries that we had for Texas, someone got annoyed that we hadn't talked about Alpine. It's like, well, they didn't release it early enough. If you want to be talked about on the Lapdown podcast, you need to know when we record, preferably our preview podcasts, and you need to have your design submitted by then, team. It's like the cost cap. If you don't get it in by the cutoff, you get investigated. And we're investigating Lewis Hamilton for not having released a helmet yet.
With our schedule. And the other thing with that Alpine livery, I mean, there was nothing really different to it, was there?
They put some yellow on it. They added a sponsor. It wasn't a special livery, it was a sponsored livery.
But somebody on social cried about it.
Yeah.
Oh, you've forgotten about the Alpine livery.
Yes.
They've literally just painted something yellow because of Franco Colapinto's supermarket sponsorship.
Yeah. Who on that? The chatter is that he's looking good to be retained for next year now, which it's nice to see Alpine not just, rinse and repeat through a bunch of drivers, I guess.
I remember Franco Colapinto.
Yes. He used to be slutty and now he's less slutty and it's less exciting.
I don't think anybody knows he's there on a weekend anymore.
No. Disappeared, hasn't he?
He's still posing with his Mate and dating 53-year-old sugar mummies.
Yeah.
But no one knows he's there.
No.
No
what
one
I will
knows
say, actually, and I am slightly biased because I am a sports media boy, as are you. So we see things slightly differently. And I will apologize in advance to people that go, oh, Alex is talking about sports media again. But I think what you said there does highlight how important doing your comms work well is. Williams, I am loath to compliment them because they were meant to hire me and they didn't. Did a really good job when they had Franco and the team of putting him and his personality as close to the front as possible and making, at one point, us absolutely love him as our preferred driver of the Lapdown podcast. And that was entirely thanks to the Williams media team. Alpine need to seriously up their game on that front because we can't see their car this year because they're slow and at the back. Okay, let me see your drivers then doing stuff. I see so much VCARB content in my algorithm. Okay, VCARB are slightly more up there and they've maybe got a little bit more of a hook. I have no interest in Liam Lawson. I very rarely see Liam Lawson on a Sunday broadcast. I see so much Kiwi racing driver during the week doing TikTok-y stuff and personality-based stuff that we just don't see out of Alpine. And that's purely on them and their media team. And I think they are doing themselves a disservice.
Yeah, I don't even know if they have social media.
They have got it because I applied to do it at one stage. They're not doing it particularly well.
Yeah, it is odd, isn't it? There's no industry standard. No. McLaren is good, but it very much focuses on volume. Yeah. Volume, similar to VCARB. It's on that same kind of method, isn't it? Williams and Ferrari, I kind of get the impression there's a little bit. Mercedes, you could fall into that category, is a little bit classier. Yeah. Red Bull, I think, struggle because the main big boy probably isn't could not give less of an arse about that.
No Max. There's so much Yuki content. There's a lot of content from Red Bull. It's all little Yuki.
Yeah. So it's not particularly relevant. I think this is where our new team comes into it next year. And I think Cadillac dominate the space. Mm-hmm. I think they have to. I don't think they have a choice but to dominate the space on social media and build that brand and build it quickly. But yeah, I don't know. Apparently Colapinto's still a Formula One driver. I will say as well, I think our preferred driver of the Lapdown podcast at the end of this 2025 season is completely up for grabs as well. Because I just haven't, since the decision has been made about Gabriel Bortoleto, and I know it's his home Grand Prix this weekend, he's done absolutely nothing.
Correct. He's fading.
Nothing to inspire me on track, off track, zilch.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. If you want it, drivers, you got to catch our attention with one thing or another. I think Valtteri's he's a great early, bookies would be backing Valtteri for next year once we can start
to be fair.
A little bit more of him. But
and fits well with the preferred team of the Lapdown podcast in 2026.
Exactly. So. Let's talk a little bit about McLaren because we've had Zach Brown and Andrea Stella on the official F1 podcast this week, and they've both come out and said McLaren would rather lose the World Drivers' Championship than pick a driver, which is a bold thing to say, and it feels weird, but I also think it's absolutely on the money and the correct thing to say, and probably the only thing that they can say.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just not much else to do, is there?
Not really, and there's not much else to say either. If it's true, if it's truthful, then it's an attempt by McLaren to kind of put to bed all of this nonsense about, they're favouring Lando, they're favouring Oscar, they've turned Oscar's car down, they've given this upgrades, they've not given this upgrades. Then it kind of is an attempt to kind of put that to bed. Would they rather lose it? That's almost the bit where I'm a bit kind of, I just feels like that's a step too far. If that makes sense, to go, we would rather lose than favour one of the drivers, and I don't necessarily know if I believe that.
Yeah,
I don't know. And if we get to Abu Dhabi, the likelihood is there will be a mathematical possibility between Lando and Oscar that both of them could win that Formula One Drivers' World Championship.
And Max,
it could be like we had last year, where it was, it's mathematically possible, and we only need Max Verstappen to finish 9th and somebody else to win the Grand Prix with the fastest lap bonus point, and then we would have a tie, and then it would go to head-to-heads, and then we would get to... So it's going to be mathematically possible. Is it mathematically possible close enough when it comes to the final weekend of the year, and you've got a Red Bull still potentially breathing down your neck to go, we'll just do this way around? Is it a case, could they secure the Drivers' World Championships by swapping Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris for 5th and 6th place in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Would they do it?
To take it off
Max,
point? You mean? To...
Yeah.
Interesting.
Would they do it at that point? Chips were down, final 3 laps of the Grand Prix. Max is winning the Grand Prix. Max is mathematically leading the World Championship. Either Oscar or Lando, I don't particularly care who, they need an extra point to get ahead of Max Verstappen to win it. And it's a case of swapping, as I say, 4th and 5th, 5th and 6th, because we've had rain in Abu Dhabi. We haven't, but you never know. Are they then seriously turning around and saying, nah, it's all right, we'd rather lose it. We'd rather lose it. Because Lando or Oscar, they're going to be thrilled with that 5th place. They're going to finish 3rd in the World Drivers' Championship. Their mate's going to finish 2nd. Max is going to win it. But yeah, we'll stick with it, and what we want to do is we want to secure the fact that we're going to finish 5th and 6th in this order. It's bullshit. I don't believe that for a second.
I guess at that point, though, we are constructing some serious narratives here, and we are bending over in some serious directions. I think in that context, though, that would almost then be a driver-led thing rather than a team-led thing. I think if they've got so much self-awareness, don't they, the drivers? They are so in tune with the screens and stuff about what's going on. And so if we'd gotten to a point in the race where, and I'm not even going to pick a name, driver 1...
Lando.
Driver 1 is aware of what the current running order is, or maybe the team do just drop them the information about, hey, here's where we're sitting. Yeah. I think it would have to be on driver 2 or driver 1 who's in front to be like, hey, if we swap them around, does that not mean that so and so wins? I could see, and it's not even a falling on sword at that point. Obviously, neither of them are going to give up sort of a championship result, but I could see one of them potentially offering that, and I'm sure it will be discussed pre-race quietly that, hey, we're not going to do anything as a team, but would you like us to provide you information about all sorts of maths and stuff? And at that point, I think you actually would win brownie points at that point if it was constructed as flicking around that way. Let me flip that round, actually, as we continue this absolutely made-up narrative that's not going to happen. As a long-time F1 fan, that situation plays out. We have an orchestrated swap for a middling points position to take the championship away from the bloke winning that race or whatever. Happy with that? Comfortable with that? Annoyed with that? How do you come away from this entirely unlikely and completely made up situation?
Don't hate the player, hate the game, I think, is probably the phrase to come back with. I think it's fine because at the end of the day, it is a team sport.
Yep.
And I probably genuinely do believe the fact that Lando and Oscar get on a hell of a lot better than what we get the or what social media comments pages give you the impression that they get on. I do genuinely think there would be a friendship there, and I could see it completely happening from both parties. I could see them turning around and kind of going, just checking, does this mean this? Yeah. And they turning around going, yes, it would. And I don't see why either of them would stand in either of the other one's way if they themselves didn't have a possibility of, yes, of course, if they were close enough to third place and they had fresher tyres and it was like, well, no, I'm going to stick out of it because I can get past George and then I can challenge Charles. Yeah. Then you go, yeah, okay, fine. If they're just moseying about for nothing, or if they get that and it gets round to the last couple of corners and they still can't do it, then I think it happens. I mean, Christ, the internet riots.
Fun and games. Fun and games.
But yeah, I think it happens.
I'll take it. Two last things. One thing that we hadn't actually discussed that has sort of been whispered during the week, not been given a huge amount of attention because I don't think it's confirmed yet. Some talk and chatter coming out of the FIA that they are looking at mandating two-stop races moving forward as opposed to just single stoppers, and bringing. I don't know how they do it. Whether it's no longer a tire compound thing and it is just you must make two pit stops. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if they even know at that point. Again, as a longer term Formula One fan, the thoughts on mandating two stops and whether it will actually do anything.
I don't think my thoughts on it have got anything to do with Formula One or motor racing.
Right.
But it feels very American, very forced fun, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to a show on Broadway, and all of a sudden there's like light up boxes that tell you when you need to applaud. Yeah. And there's always somebody on the side there kind of going, come on, guys, let's start getting behind. Do you know, it kind of feels that's the kind of vibe I'm getting from it. It's like, wow, you know, we could spice this up a little bit if we just force people to enjoy it a different way. It didn't work in Monaco either, really, did it? Could it be successful in other circuits where overtaking is a little bit more likely than what it is at Monaco? I mean, you could give people 17 stops at Monaco, and I don't think it'd make a blind bit of difference other than the commentators just getting more and more confuddled as to who's where and who's actually leading and who's doing what and how many stops people have got left. I don't know. It just feels unnecessary, to be honest with you. It does feel unnecessary. I don't know. I mean, what's your take on it from a less longer standing Formula One fan? But I mean, even you now, you've got years under your belt.
Yeah, I think they're looking at it. I don't mind the idea of how do we promote jeopardy and strategy. I think that's great, and all sports at all points should be just taking a step back and going, are our current rules providing us the best possible outcome?
Yeah.
I don't think mandating stuff is the way to do that, because then probably all that happens is we go from a soft medium every week to a soft medium. They all pit within 3 laps of each other because all of the simulations say the same thing. And then at that point, it just becomes a pit crew championship of make sure you don't fuck up your pit stop and we're all good. I think the simpler solution, if they want to bring jeopardy and stuff in, is that you just make tires that don't last anywhere near as long and fall off a cliff. Yes.
I've got a much more sensible idea.
Okay. The look on your face tells me it's not a sensible idea.
Hear me out. Mario Kart style question mark boxes.
You said sensible idea, and then you started your idea with Mario Kart.
Yes, but the thing is with the way that we're moving towards this new track in Saudi and all these other street circuits popping up, it feels quite apt. And with, I'm sure, some of the brilliance that AWS can put together with regards to their packages that they're able to do, you wouldn't actually have to get the Formula One cars to drive through the wooden crates that are kind of popping around and rotating around the circuit. So what I'm thinking is you designate your pit stop, right? And as you come into the lane, you go through this kind of because it's going to be like a sublimated kind of overlay of a box. Yeah. And you're going down you go through it, and it's going to be quite quick because obviously the team's going to need to get the tires out, and it's going down. You go and you go banana, turtle shell, mushroom, whatever, hard tires, bang, on, go, off you go. And the next person comes through, and it's like soft tires, bang, on the car, go. We want forced fun, and that would be fun.
Do you still
And
want
we
to hear
could
my
sponsor
actual
it.
idea,
Well,
or are you going to
imagine,
talk about Diddy Kong 64?
yeah, but imagine the sponsor we could get behind it as well. We could sponsor it. We could obviously have Pirelli being it. Then the box could have a sponsor, and the other items in it could have a sponsor, and the graphics on the screen could have a sponsor, depending on how many boxes people had gone through. I'm a money man, AB, and all I'm seeing here is pound signs.
So you don't want my
Check.
actual idea then? We'll move on.
No, I think your idea is actually quite sensible.
I didn't even get to say my idea. You started talking about Nintendo. Oh dear, I'm moving on. Can we leave the Senna stuff alone, or can we just cool off on the Senna stuff in general across all of Formula One? I appreciate it's a big statement, but I just can't help but feel we're now rinsing it. I say where drivers, teams, the sport as a whole are just abusing it for likes and clout and that sort of thing, and that it's gone beyond now actually recognizing one of the best drivers that the sport has had. And it's now just become, oh, sweet, Brazil, how can I get Senna in there? It doesn't feel natural anymore. And I think we just all need to calm down a little bit.
How does Ayrton Senna make you feel as a Formula One fan? How then does the Ayrton Senna content in the years that you've been a Formula One fan make you feel? It is just I guess a way of kind of padding out your statement.
So last year, I get it, right? It was an anniversary year. It was 30 years last year. Absolutely, it makes sense that we would mark that in various ways. It just feels so plastic, I think, a lot of the time. And I don't know Kimi Antonelli's connection to Senna, right? There may well be a deep connection there. But when we've got a multi-slide photo shoot on Instagram from Kimi Antonelli going and putting flowers on Senna's grave, I can't help but look at that and go, PR person's all over that. Sweet. Hey, we're going to Brazil. What we're going to do is we're going to go buy you 50 Brazilian reals worth of flowers, and you're going to take them and put them on here. Make sure you wear something this, and you can do this and have your hair done and all the rest of it. It just, if Senna is that important, go and do that. Fine, great. Make time to go and visit his grave and whatever. That's not a 4-slide Instagram post. And it just feels like anytime we have a special, and admittedly so far, the special helmet and the livery that we've seen for this weekend aren't this, but it feels like anytime we go to Brazil, hey, I've got a special Senna-inspired helmet this weekend. It's like, well, hang on, what connection does Ollie Behrman have to, Senna for his lid? Or why has Isaac Hadjar got a special edition Senna merchandise range and all the rest of it? And you just think, I get it. He was very good. It's a big deal that we lost him in a race and whatever. But also, I don't feel like people rinse other excellent, famous historical drivers in the same way. We're not constantly seeing Schumacher, tributes and all the rest of it. I appreciate it's slightly different because he is still with us. But it just feels, plastic and cash grabby and aura farmy. And it very rarely feels genuine, is what I would say.
Yeah, valid points. You have to respect the legacy and the record and the stature and the character, and there will be an awful lot of people that will still be walking this planet that will have been impacted by Ayrton Senna as a Formula One driver, whether that was because of a direct link, whether it was because of someone grew up in the 80s and they were watching Formula One during the peak of it. There are still going to be people walking the planet, aren't they, that are going to have that kind of, well, Senna was the best I've ever seen. It's not far enough ago that there is nobody left on the planet that goes, no, he was the best ever to do it. But I mean, we've got nothing to base it on other than a few kind of crusty VHSs that we can watch back every now and again at Christmas time out of season because there's nothing else to show. I do agree with you. The word that I kind of thought of, it almost feels quite lazy when it comes to, so all of these guys, all of these people now, all of the teams, they're not just going to the thing is, and you mentioned about the fact that it feels disingenuous. And I don't necessarily think any of these teams or drivers are subconsciously, with the exception of Pierre Gasly at Spa for his, like, obviously good friend Antoine Hubert, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Then that is completely genuine. And that's something that I believe he does every single time because he wants to do it.
Yeah.
Has Kimi Antonelli, and I know we're picking on him here, and it's not meant to be picked on him.
It's just because he's put the post out. And every driver has done it at some point. Every team has done it at some point. It's just because so far this week, Kimi has dropped his.
Has he sat down with Mercedes' social media marketing team for the Brazil content strategy? Because they'll have content strategies for each event that they run. It's not going to be a year-long content strategy.
Yeah.
And he's going to go, I really want to go and do this. Or has somebody turned around and gone, we can get 100,000 of our projected or targeted 3.5 million interactions for the Brazilian Grand Prix if we send the new boy with some flowers to lay down and kind of say Senna Sempre and just tick a couple of boxes there. And I think that's where it feels like it's going towards, because Kimi Antonelli wouldn't have been born. When Ayrton Senna passed away, he wasn't even walking this planet. So it's not a Hamilton situation that Hamilton would have had those early memories of Senna and going, oh, this is why my helmet's yellow, because I used to love watching Senna when I was really little. And my dad loved watching Senna. Maybe Kimi Antonelli's dad loved watching Senna, but potentially, and I don't know how old Kimi Antonelli's dad is, but he might not have seen that much of Ayrton Senna, to be fair now. Bearing in mind he passed away in 1992. It's important. It's important to recognise, and it's important to recognise, I think, how good the sport has come with regards to protecting those Formula One drivers since Ayrton Senna's passing. He was clearly a legend. He was clearly incredibly good at what he did. But I think you can't have too much of a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's milestone years for me. It's last year. I got it last year. It's a 30th anniversary. Sweet. We'll see you again in 40. I think. I don't even think it's 35. Maybe it's 35. But we are certainly at 5-year increments, if not increasing to 10 as we drift out. I think that is my thing.
Do you think it happens with Brazil? Obviously, because he's Brazilian.
Yeah.
But because Brazil's quite a dangerous place. Like Formula One teams and drivers have been held up at gunpoint on the way to the circuit in recent years, that actually the content kind of stuff doesn't really allow for much else. Like you never really see Formula One drivers at the Copacabana or Christ the Redeemer. And I know they're separate cities. I know Rio, Sao Paulo, different things. Or they're not kind of making some delicious Brazilian food that will, like, they're famous, like Brazilian steakhouses and barbecues and things like that, like you would see if they went to Italy or Japan or whatever. Do you think it boils down to the fact that actually the people that are coming up with these content strategies for these people are going, well, shit, we can't do much in Sao Paulo because, I mean, we might get kidnapped and murdered. And there's a genuine chance of that. That's quite a high not a high likelihood, obviously. You get bad people everywhere around the world, don't you? But does limit your opportunities somewhat, doesn't it? If you can't just kind of pop down the local park and do a piece because all of a sudden someone's going to come along and nick all your Rolexes and then throw you in the back of a transit van. Yeah,
it's certainly possible. I suppose the Kimi's the slight outlier here, and that he is literally just in a cemetery at the grave. But it's entirely possible. Or it's just I think it's just easy checkbox of Brazil, sweet Senna stuff. We'll work it out when we get there. As opposed to there's probably more going on that we could do. But and it's no disrespect whatsoever to how good Senna was or his legacy or anything like that. And it's not me saying there should be no mention of Senna whatsoever. It just feels like the connections are often looser than they should be.
Yeah, fair. Very fair.
You want to speak about loose connections? We need to pick some drivers for our random World Championship teams.
Yes, we do.
And they are loosely connected.
Fire that wheel up.
Fire the wheel up. Have you got scores in front of you on your international travels?
I do. Current scores on the doors are 225 for myself and 208 for you. So I have a 17-point lead with 4 rounds to go. And I think who's going to get. So you'll have the last. So I think this is me for driver number 1 this week.
Right. Here we
And
go.
then, so I've got Brazil, Qatar. You've got Vegas, Abu Dhabi for the number 1. Well, I say picks. I mean the number 1 lands.
Spin. And here it
Probably
comes.
the thing.
It feels like a day 3 weekend for us as well, doesn't it? In this,
It really does. And I mean, that's not a great place to stop.
I don't know. It's one of the names you dropped earlier as someone who did something silly recently. So, hey, you never know. Pierre Gasly, it's not terrible.
Lightning doesn't strike twice, does it?
Look, sometimes it does in Brazil because of those dark clouds you talked about. Specifically,
they're impressive.
Storm clouds could do all sorts of things. Right. Going up against your Pierre Gasly is stop on Alex Albon, please. Don't go to Fernando Alonso. It went to Fernando Alonso.
Oh, that's a stinky start, isn't it?
Yeah. I could have had the delicious Golf livery, and instead I've got Fernando Alonso. But, I mean...
Yeah. Did you see him in his wrestling
other,
mask?
Don't they? So that's fine.
Did you see him Fernando Libre in Mexico? That was brilliant for the drivers' parade.
Did not see Fernando Libre.
With his wrestling mask on.
Incredible. Incredible.
Fantastic.
Right, partner Pierre Gasly, for you this weekend, it's going to be Navy, but it's not going to be the right Navy. It's going to be the small Navy.
All right. I mean, there's a couple of points there.
Yeah, you'd hope for some pointage of some description.
Yeah.
On a Yuki Tsunoda. And then partnering, Fernando. I feel like I've had a lot of Fernando. I say that about a lot of the drivers. Here we go. That's a good wedge of the wheel to be in. Oh, okay. It's Brazil's son. Lewis Hamilton.
Okay.
That's the
adopted
mover
child.
And shaker. That's the mover and shaker pick of the weekend.
That is the big boy.
Yeah, that's the entire championship at this stage is hinging on Mr. Hamilton.
Is he going to overhaul you 18 points though?
18's a lot of points, but it's a sprinter, mate. And if you've heard the Instagram comments from us doing the maths on whether Max is going to win, but the sprint races, there's sprint races in there. There's 8 points in a sprint race. Sprint race. Sprint races, sprint race. It's a sprint race.
Love a sprint race.
Sprinting.
Big fan. Sprint every weekend. Cool.
All the time. Why not?
Amazing.
Why not? Anything more from you, Daniel?
Not a lot, mate. Not a lot, other than the fact that I will, Christ knows what time of day I'm going to have to try and watch this Brazilian Grand Prix.
What time is the Brazilian Grand Prix in the UK? Let's have a look. It's a 5 p.m. It's a pure dinner watch in the UK.
So it's a 10 p.m. start in Sharjah, which isn't impossible, to be fair.
No, not terrible.
Not impossible.
You get it good, though, with Las Vegas, though. Are you still... No, you're not there on the 23rd anymore, are you?
I'll be going even further.
Right. 23rd, 4 a.m. UK time. That's a delicious lunchtime Grand Prix if you're in Australia. Stunning.
Happy days.
Stunning.
Sign me up, folks. Sign me up. So you probably won't be watching that live.
I will be traveling to Singapore while that's happening. So I'll be on a catch-up jobby there. Or
Wonderful.
Singapore Airlines might have broadcast rights on their plane. I know Qatar do. If you fly Qatar and you fly Emirates, you quite often get Grand Prix on the flight, which is quite cool. But who knows? In the meantime, Dan said at the start, but any button you can press in a positive capacity in and around this audio or video medium or on social, press that button. Whether it's a like, a follow, a sub, all the rest of it, comment, share it with someone, repost it, all of that good stuff. Makes a massive difference, helps us out massively. Leave a review as well. lapdownpod@gmail.com if you've got any thoughts that you want to send our way. And we'll be back at the start of next week. Times and day releases and stuff could be slightly funny over the next little bit as we navigate some time zones and whatnot, but we will do what we can.
We'll figure it out.
And in the meantime, Dan, while you're over there doing things, where can they see you doing all those things?
Just have a cheeky little look at Dan Jadds on the internet. You'll find some stuff. You might find it interesting. You might not, but I'll be there regardless. How about you? You're obviously heading away, so you're not going to be streaming. Have you got many streams left?
10 or 12 streams, and then you're done with me for 2 months. So if you want to come watch me play games, twitch.tv/HeyLookIt'sAlex, you can do that. In the meantime, have a wonderful sprunting, and we will see you all next week. Toodle pip.
Yeah.
Goodbye.